Hi, everybody, and welcome back to LL Sports TV. Hope you're all doing well. So, the wait is over, and we now have a fight. This morning, both Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn weighed in for what they call the second day weight limit. There's a rehydration clause in this fight that requires both fighters to weigh in no less than £10 over the stipulated £160 middleweight limit. Both fighters did so successfully. Chris Eubank Jr., he weighed in at 169.4 pounds, comfortably inside. Conor Benn, as predicted, he would anyway, he weighed in at 165 pounds. So after all the talking, all the controversy, we now have a fight. There was a lot of drama. I'm sure you guys have all heard about it by now. Yesterday's weigh-in, Chris Eubank Jr. missing the weight. He missed it twice. Second time around, he missed it by something like 0.5 of an ounce, which is something like 14 grams, the equivalent of a AAA battery. So that's the small margins we're talking about. Nevertheless, he missed the weight. And as a result, he's required to pay a financial penalty to Conor Benn. I think it's $500,000 or the equivalent of £375,000. But either way, that's a lot of money. He will have to pay that to Conor Benn. And yesterday's weigh-in, I've got to say, Chris Eubank Jr. looked terrible. He really did. He looked gaunt. He looked emaciated. He posted pictures of on his social media of him trying to make the weight, doing all sorts of stuff. He really did look bad, to the point where a lot of ex-fighters, pundits, medical professionals were questioning whether he should go with the fight. That's how bad he looked. We have a fight now, but what have we seen? Will it affect the fight? And my answer to that is yes, it could do, absolutely. It certainly increases Conor Benn's chances tonight, 100%. I think the odds for this fight are probably narrowed quite significantly. Drastic weight cuts can affect fighters in so many different ways. You're talking about severe dehydration here, which can affect them in many ways. It can affect their cognitive function, the concentration, the punch resistance, fatigue, reduced speed and agility, reaction times, even a whole range of factors. And Chris Eubank Jr. could be affected by all of those tomorrow. And you've got to remember as well, Chris Eubank Jr. is now 35 years old. And as you get older, I don't need to tell you, your metabolism slows down. So even though Chris Eubank Jr. has fought his last 4 or 5 fights at middleweight, he was always going to struggle to make weight in this fight. There is a danger to himself, and it does impair his chances of winning this fight tonight. Once he's had a chance to replenish, which I'm sure he will do, and I'm sure he will do well, he's got a nutritionist, and they will advise him what fluids or what food to take on board. So he has still got quite a long time before they get in the ring, which will be late tonight, probably about 11 o'clock, something like that. He will, by fight time, enjoy significant advantages in terms of his size, his height, his reach, and of course, his experience. Not physical, but it does count for a lot. But there's no doubt about it that this drama with the weight will definitely play into the fight, I would have thought, 100%. Does it change my prediction, though? I'm kind of loath to change my prediction. Previously, I did a video where I said that I felt that Conor Benn had a 6-round window in which to get the job done. I was saying that he needed to either go in there and take Chris Eubank out in the first 6 rounds, if, of course, he can do that, or the other way that works is that if he's able to knock Eubank Jr. down or put some real damage on him in the first 6 rounds, put that cumulative damage on Chris Eubank Jr. so it slows him down significantly in the second half of the fight, then that is basically where Conor Benn's chances lay. I said that if the fight goes past 6 rounds, then I'm very confident that Chris Eubank Jr., given his size, strength, I say that now a little reservedly, but yeah, you would imagine he'd be the stronger guy once he replenishes. And his experience and his greater skill set, given that he's boxed at a far higher level than Conor Benn. Conor Benn is still pretty much unproven, certainly over the latter distance against better fighters. Then I would have thought that Chris Eubank Jr. would have prevailed and would have gone on to have won either by a late stoppage or a convincing points decision win. However, with all the weight issues now, it could well be that it's Chris Eubank Jr. that struggles going into the latter half of the fight. Because as I said a little while ago, when you're weight drained, it does impair your physical functions. And one of those is endurance. So you're far more easier to get fatigued when you're weight drained than if you hadn't been. So that will be significant. I think another factor to take into account that not too many people are talking about, but something that I've noticed, that they'll be fighting in a very small ring tomorrow. I think it's 18-foot ring, which is very small by most professional standards. Again, that plays into Conor Benn's narrative, because the smaller ring will mean that it'll be easier for him to get to Eubank. Eubank will be less likely to be able to employ movement because the ring is so small that Conor Benn will effectively be on him. So that is an advantage that could play well into this fight. So yeah, that's another way. That's another window of opportunity for Conor Benn. So yeah, this is an intriguing fight. With all that and the weight cuts and everything else, I think that it's narrowed the odds significantly. I was previously predicting that Eubank Jr. would win. I'm loath to change that prediction, but definitely I do think that what we've seen in the last day or two has certainly narrowed the odds. And I think Conor Benn now has a real chance of winning, which is not something I was saying previously. But that's my opinion. What do you think? I'm still going with Chris Eubank Jr. I do think he is the better fighter. He's the more proven fighter. So I would have to go with that. He's proved himself at a far higher level than Conor Benn has previously. But he is 35 years old. Conor Benn is 28. He looks good in training. He sounds confident. He looks ready to go. Well, both of them do. But like I said, the weight cut thing could play a significant part in the fight tonight. But anyway, that's my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I will be appearing on a watch-along tonight for DR Sports. That's DR Sports. Myself and Robbie of AFTV, he will be on that particular watch-along. We've got a couple of other guests, James Toon. We've got Jigs. We may even have a couple of other guests as well. So that promises to be fun. Make sure you check that out tonight. I think we're going live about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Check that out on DR Sports. I will be doing a post-fight video breaking down what happened, who won and why. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you very soon. Check us out. And just want to say as well, thanks so much everybody for watching the video. Thanks so much for your support. If you're new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very soon.